Hey, Dan, Brad, how's it going?
Scott, all right, all right, all right. And all of my people, thank you for joining us on the Q&A webinar. Brad, thank you for sliding into home in the last 2 minutes. What
Well,
if I
golly,
show you?
if Scott or you hadn't said anything, who would know?
Who would know? But, because I left you kind of hanging, I was ready to go solo.
There's no quid pro quo here, buddy.
I appreciate that because, as you know, we're going to show some exciting stuff. Look, see that gentleman on the screen is raising his hand already.
Question.
Question. Okay, let's rock and roll. Before we start, so that you guys don't sue us by accident, please know that all the information that is being provided by any team member at Trade Ideas is only for educational purposes. We are not a registered investment advisor. We're, other than being registered as super handsome executives and marketing people, we are not registered as anything what custom investment advice. Please seek that from somebody who's registered as an investment advisor. Brad, please, not from me.
I mean, I don't have anything more to add to that. You really did cover it all.
It's a very important disclaimer.
Yes,
All
indeed.
right. So while I was busy goofing off, running around, getting my golf game in better shape, Brad, unbeknownst to me, was fiddling around with Trade Ideas presentations, making all sorts of stuff. Stuff
Yeah, this isn't
to,
really your style of a presentation. A little
you
bit
know,
more
I don't
my
like,
style, but you know.
Brad, I don't like to show people stuff. I will show some stuff, but not that.
I know
I
you
mean,
just like.
look at the details, people. Here, Brad is showing you what our alerts are designed to do. This is great for everybody. There's lots of people here, Brad. I don't know if you were here during the survey, but many people here are not even subscribers. So one of the things that we do, and this is a great example of this, is that our software behind the scenes in what looks like a matrix black and white text box that's scrolling super fast is looking at all this stuff that's happening. Brad, do you like that sound?
I like that.
Okay. And when it identifies points, it puts important points into its like pocket for future reference. Like here, it identified yesterday's high price, put it in its pocket. And here it goes, and then all of a sudden, boom, when this high price was crossed with some volume, you got an alert right there, crossing yesterday's high, the stock, the price, the shares, the time, the range. That's really how our software works. Now imagine that what I just described to you can be done for anything and everything that you can imagine to an extent. And here's some examples here. You have, of course, the basic highs, the lows, pre-market data, pattern recognition, time sequence pattern recognition, the traditional 200 days, and things you probably have never heard of, like the opening range breakouts or the engulfing bars. And not only can you subscribe to these events, like a Twitter feed, perhaps, maybe a presidential Twitter feed, Brad, perhaps, but you
Maybe.
can filter them. And filters are a way, like, imagine if you could take the president's tweet and say, Twitter, only show me the tweets where there's some misspellings. Brad, you like that? See how I'm bringing that into something?
I
Huh?
think that's a good one. Yeah, it's relevant.
So in this case, our software does the same thing. Show me stocks, but only some that are trading way unusual social volume. Like that's one example of a tweet. Or show me stocks with unusual options volume. That's quote unquote the filtering. Like I said about filtering a tweet for misspellings, this is a numerical version of that same thing. Now, lots of ways that this data can be displayed. Do not get scared. This is not what most people view. This is just an example that Brad meticulously, without my involvement whatsoever, put into this
Yeah, no,
PowerPoint.
it can be overwhelming, but the reality is what it does do is it highlights the great data that we offer, right? So it gives you kind of a sense of the way that we display this information.
Well, that's the whole point. And notice here you have icons at the top, T, that's called a window where you can see a top list. And a top list is all of these stocks are listed as like it's a rank list with the best on top for whatever it is you're doing. Here it's the biggest pullbacks on winners. So you want to see stocks that are down but that are turning around. So this is how that works, okay? Here you've got a multi-strategy window, which allows you to take any number of alert windows and combine them into one window to save space. And of course, the foundation, the alert window, where you can use alerts and filters to basically ask our software to show you any kind of information. Like show me all the stocks that are up today having been at yesterday's lows, or show me stocks that are making yearly lows on 3 times unusual options volume. So this is all the kind of stuff that you can do. And you can go further. You can research it. There's great stuff that we provide on every single chart. And one of these things is that we assume that you are about to take the trade. So here's a stock that's trading at $3. And again, this was done in July the 16th. But it's a great example of what our software does. It gives you the sort of flag football cones to run your plays. Here is your profit target, if it should go there. Here is your smart stop, like where we think, or where the computer thinks you should get out if it turns around. And if you're a little bit of a longer term holder, bag holder, did I say that, Brad?
I think you can say it.
Yeah. Well, then you've got the swing exit right here. You know, it's a bigger percentage move down, but notice for every single stock, and I'll go through more of this as we continue, you have all of this information. Of course, here you can see, well, what is the percentage of stocks that are making new highs versus new lows? And here you can really drill into a single stock window. So lots of things you can do. You can, of course, set your own alerts, your own price alerts, which is very key because we're kind of going to segue into this as it relates to what we're doing right now. And I'm going to pop out of here. Let me go back.
You could go for days, couldn't you? Sorry about that.
You like my style. I like that, but I feel like you missed me. He missed me.
Good to have you back.
All right, so I'm going to do something cool. So what I want to do is I want to bring in here, guys, what we have been working on, and especially for you, the non-subscribers, this is critical because what you got here is the Trade Ideas paper trading system. This is paper trading, but as I've mentioned in plenty of webinars beforehand, what have I been doing, Brad? I've been swing trading. How do you know this? Well, you know this because we have the created date column that tells you when trades were created. So you guys see this, approximately on the 12th, I started various swing trading positions in stocks. So we can go to them, okay? And we can see how I did it, what I did, and what did I have to deal with. So here is where the position was initiated. Notice, kind of went positive, negative, positive, one day, you know, I did 10 points down, so that wasn't good, and all around, and then it just careened lower. So this starts at your swing trade point. Brad, I think this is so critical, you know, because this is really telling you your own performance. So you can kind of, and eventually, by the way, Brad, we will kind of build a drawdown in here where you can see like how much you were suffering while this was happening. But the beauty here, of course, is that you can see not only did I make it up, but it was a very good day today. So let's take a look at Amazon. Another example. Now, Amazon, in terms of my swing trading, was probably one of the best just golf shot type of swing trades, Brad. If you can see it. And again,
Yeah,
notice
that's
the line.
some pretty good timing right there for sure.
That's a good timing. And the beauty is I didn't really have to worry, because as soon as I got into it this day, the next day it stayed below my entry point and never wavered.
Well, you know what? That's why using the combined tools of intraday analytics, getting some real-time indication can give you the opportunity to get something like that and then hold it for a while. Maybe never have to.
And that's, and Brad, I'm trying to see if I got my, is anybody in questions, putting any questions up? Because my questions thing seems a little weird.
I don't see any new ones.
Okay, good. Then maybe we're all looking at the same thing. So what I want you guys to see here is not like that specifically that I'm up a lot, but a great thing that we have here is we're calculating the points for you. So in this particular case, since September 12th, I have managed to accumulate 134.81 points in a 500 share hypothetical swing trade short of Amazon. Brad, one of the things that this specific example is showing you guys, and I love this part because, you know, we talk about it so often, but a lot of people never see it. Look how much you can make on the downside when you are catching it correctly. You know, Brad, this is the one thing that I think you and I, when we were talking about what can paper trading demonstrate, is that this is just a simple demonstration of, look guys, here, so we had 135 points in Amazon, 161 points in Google. Now these are expensive stocks, of course. Okay. Netflix, look at this one. So got into it again, this one was the 16th, so a few days later, but I was kind of taking cue from these, Brad. And I got into it here, and never more than 7 points out of the money, which again, if you look at the Netflix situation, right, Brad, that's not a lot for this type of stock.
Yeah, it's not a lot for that price point of a stock and its volatility for sure. You know, but
Right.
it goes without saying, you felt a little pain there
Just
in that move.
But just over 3 days, but really just 1 day of pain. And again, when you're swing trading, right, if you're going back and you're like 1 day of pain, well, you better be able to handle the 1 day.
Yeah, you need to be able to handle it, and that's why it's a good tool to be able to size yourself correctly and to be able to see.
And notice we were never really in danger of breaking out of this area, or certainly this area, which is what I would have been watching.
Right, for sure.
But once again, notice the line. So you're constantly getting that feedback. This is where I got in, and this is what's happening to the stock. Tyler, we'll get to that stuff. We'll get to some of the new stuff. So again, you can look at every single stock that you got into. Here's my Facebook. 14 points. You know, again, a nice percentage in terms of like what we're talking about of $189 stock and so on. And of course, more recently, I got into a stock that went against me, X. Got into it here. It actually ran up nicely, but then pulled all the way back. But we're not below this area, the swing exit, which is noticed right here. I'm playing by the playbook. So Brad, that's another thing that's very nice here, right? I mean, you're right here, you're like, okay, well, I'm kind of just a point away. So you know exactly what your pain's gonna be. You break this, you're out, you gotta reassess. But that's what these lines are for. This is your entry, this is your how much you were up since this was a long trade, and of course, this is the current point of pain, and you can see what it is. Today's P&L, open P&L. So this is the kind of information that you're being given in the Trade Ideas paper trading system that is going to be available for both premium and standard subscribers. You get to see the list of which stocks are doing the best, and we got to work the graphics a little bit here, Brad. You see like a little cutoff and stuff like that, but you can see which things are doing really good. My Beyond Meat, another kind of, you know, one that was
yuck.
Well, you know, it was great, and then it
I was talking about the food, but sorry.
Oh, totally. But I'm just saying, this is another example where 2 days out, then I was in the money, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out of the money, 7, but back into the money on the close in 8, 9, 10, and 11, and we're still pretty strong. Okay. And Tesla. I mean, again, hadn't done much better. It even touched the swing exit, which would have been, if it broke through there, that would have been much better. But the point that I'm trying to make is, this is the paper trading. It's working. I'm testing it. We're getting very close to a full launch of it. Brad, when are you thinking?
Yeah, I think publicly available in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Might happen sooner, but that's a pretty good guess, I think.
Right. So 2 weeks. Once again, notice you can really get detailed on your overall, this is how many my positions are up, my profit factor, you can see total P&L, today's P&L. So again, you get this really nice feedback, shares open, shares closed, and this works identically to our Brokerage Plus system, which is of course available on Interactive Brokerage. So you
the ability that stops and to manipulate your orders on the chart, all that's there.
Yeah. So you got your accounts. Again, you'll be able to do all this. Before we kind of go into some of the other stuff, are there any questions about paper trading and the things you just saw? So this again allows you, why do we say that this is so important, guys? Is because this is the ability for you to do homework and really feel the homework visually. And once you start trading, the lines will be the same. The money will be real, but the lines will be the same. So this is a very big development for us. Do you have any questions about it? Alrighty then. I love it. Okay. So of course, Brad, I can't really start getting into it without saying this handsome Canadian kind of moved himself up the channel bar. Can we discuss what's going on there?
Yeah, I don't know how he did that, but he's got a great concept going on with respect to curating some of the previous day's ideas, specifically the AI trades, but anything that really is of interest, he sets up in a curated list, and these windows here are scanning, waiting for something to happen with those lists, and he's been pretty successful with it, and the room is really interested in this concept and what he's got going on. You know, it goes to show you there are different ways to use our software. You can use it where you're scanning everything, every single stock out there, and just using the software to filter what comes through. Or you can set up your own portfolio of stocks, group of stock lists, and monitor using these windows, those particular lists. So different ways. So it's a great channel. You can go to the trading room, which you can get to just from our homepage. Go there and watch Barry using it in real time, making real trades, curating the ideas in the room as well, and just moderating.
For everyone who is not a subscriber, the Barry's Trading Room is a great way to acquaint yourself with all various aspects of trade ideas because it's free. It's a good way to window shop, and you can also see the different styles of people that utilize the technology. You've got Barry, you've got various people who have been elevated through Barry's meritocracy of providing good content. And it's one of the more popular rooms out there in a trading verse. So what's really cool is now that you have this stuff and you're doing all of this, right? Well, you can tie that into this. And as soon as you see something, okay, you can right click and potentially buy it. I don't know if we allow you to do that after hours, probably not, but that's
we do right now. We do right now, but yeah, you can put anything on right now.
Right. So you can test all of Barry's things. That's the beauty of it. You can test them. Again, for those of you who are not subscribers, notice that our channel bar here is much like a Netflix or a Vudu or your TiVo or cable kind of channel guide. You can start the day as you're sipping your coffee, looking at the pre-market information where you can see everything that's gapping up. Okay. You can see what's happening, the percentage basis. But potentially why earnings day, some of the fundamental factors that could be playing here, these guys are showing some quarterly revenue growth. You don't always know which fundamental thing is the thing that's affecting it, right? But the idea is here, we're showing it to you in a way where you can quickly ascertain something positive that's going on. And of course the float, and Brad, you and I have not talked about the float in a while because we think that so many of you already know what it is, but the float is sort of the weight of the stock. And if you have a stock that is 1 million float, it means it doesn't weigh a lot. It's pretty easy to move the low float stocks around. Whereas if you have a stock that's like Bank of America, let's let me see if float's on here. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna put in BAC right here. Okay, so Bank of America has a 9.3 billion share float. So if you think about that, again, as I said, the float is sort of the weight of the stock. Bank of America is like a gigantic battle cruising tanker. And for it to be moved around a lot requires an immense amount of volume. And it trades a lot more than what, let's say, any of these trade because of 51 million. But still, 51 million out of 9 billion, which is why a lot of people in the active trading community look at some of the lower float stocks, because when things start to happen in the lower floats, things can really happen. Again, the percentages, remember, we are not geared to any one direction. We're geared to the direction. Here from March, Brad, the direction was down and you could have made 10x your money. What a beautiful short.
And I don't know that that direction has changed yet.
Right. Well, that's the whole point. Another one, another beautiful short from 7 to 1. I mean, think about these percentages that are often left on the table. Okay. AI is trying some. Ooh, caught a nice one on the swing. That's another beautiful thing is we show you our AI signals, what happened, how it happened, why it happened. And when you look at them longer term, you can see the swing potential. So that's why it's very important to be integrated with all of the different functionality of this software. And this beautiful pre-market channel just allows you to see what is sort of in play today. Okay, so that's one of the places where I like to jump into is social media, because this is sort of putting on your, I guess, your news channel, Brad, to some extent. This channel is showing you things that are being talked about right now more than they're normally being talked about. So it's a curation of the curation, because here, if you only listen to things that are being talked about a lot, you would always be looking at Apple, Facebook, Google, the spiders, and etc. But we do it differently. We do relative discussion. In other words, what is something where it's not being talked about, and then all of a sudden it starts being talked about? Like this beautiful anticipatory sell signal, Brad, that you would have to wait a little bit, but delicious. Making me hungry. Shorts.
A lot more emotion in that down move than that up move, huh?
Absolutely. We want to go back to the freedom of going into both directions in the stock market is one of the things that Advantage put. Ow, Brad. Who designed this software? So good. How did it know? And there's some geniuses that do this. Okay, I get so excited, I lose control. But the point, guys, is going in both directions frees you up from the standard grind of the market, because there will be times when the market goes down, and if you're profiting at that point, my goodness, and if you can turn it around, which you should, when it starts to go back the other way, then you're really thriving in the market versus being pushed around by its waves. And Brad, that really is the kind of metaphor. It's like, are you being pushed around, or are you the one that's driving the boat where you want to go? And I think most investors, when they're looking at the market see it just, I want to buy something and get in and ride it. They don't think about all the opportunities that you go like from here, 21 to 12 to 20, you know? It gets completely missed by people. So that's what we bring to you. And again, notice in the beginning, we showed you various things. Now, we talked about how you can, so many different ways you can use this technology, but here's one great one. So here you have the 13-period exponential moving average, Brad, like right around 92.47. So I'm going to say when that's crossed, okay, I'm going to say above EMA 13 from 10 to 2019. It's that simple. There you go. So now I've got this pinned, okay, and I will not have to worry about it again. There's, Brad, one of the things I love when we do these things, it reminds me of the purity of every sport, really. But, you know, we talk about good golf shots, how the less you sort of try it and the more you just let it happen, the better it is, as you know, and I know very well. Trading is the same thing. You spend too much, like, is it here? Is it there?
Well, the KISS theory, I think that's important, right? You want to keep it simple. It's
simple, right? But one of the simplest ways that you can do it is by creating price alerts when you're not emotionally too attached. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It gives you the ability to look at some other things, and when that crosses, then you can take a look at it again and make your decision.
Yeah, you just let it go away. Here's, again, I mean, just another example. I can just create an alert called above the wave.
You can set an expiration there too. You know, let's say you only want to look for that for a week or a month. You can set it, and then it'll only monitor that time period and then disappear.
That's right. So it's a very comprehensive system, and one that we're going to really push into the whole SMS messaging and things like that. So it might even, Brad, become a lower end tier product by itself to some extent, possibly.
Yeah, there's some planned functionality in that, notification functionality to your mobile device and some other methods that we're looking into. So that'll
much like things that our viewers should remember from experiences with social media. Notice that there's hearts, so you can like things, and that's important because there's a whole channel. So once you start interacting with data, notice FEYE just appeared in there. So these are all the things that I have, for some reason, decided to like. Just interested for whatever reason. And you can do that as well. As you start practicing bringing things to your attention, you will notice as they appear. It's quite the reiteration of your own thought process. You know, sometimes when I look at this, I'm like, why the hell did I like this one? Okay, it's gone. I don't want it anymore. But then I can see, you know, square was very unpredictable. So maybe I don't want to mess with it. Or in this case, we thought it was going up, or the AI thought it was going up, but it's really having a harder time. So I'm like, I'm going to put an alert right here called below the swing exit 10 to. So once again, just notations, working with your own stuff, and then you move away. Then you don't worry. So that's what my light symbols is. It's your own custom channel, and whatever it is that you're doing, everyone's is totally different. So I'm going to show you another very cool thing that we do. And this is good for everybody who's new, because this is something that only we do that I'm aware of. Notice that the symbols are changing. So you can see my mouse is over here, away from the screen. But yet you are being delivered new information, new stocks. What's happening is that you are in an environmental feature called idea surfing. Okay, idea surfing. So what is it doing? It's going through the top stocks and the top lists, And then right now it's in the one where it says action is heating up. And it's presenting them to you without you having to type. And now it switches to alpha predator. And what it does is that's really cool is that once you put your mouse on the chart, the idea surfing is paused. Like, oh, okay, I like this, this is interesting. As soon as you move it away, it'll start again. There you go. Really, now I'm going to come here, and I'm just going to say, because I like these kinds of patterns, and I'm going to say alert. See how I used that beer reference in there, Brad? Chugging?
I do. I like that.
Okay. So there you go. It's a suite where I'm incorporating all the various usabilities of the tool and combining it into a simple experience. But the thing that's critical is you're just getting a lot more information visually than you would anywhere else. And wherever you go on the software, I'm going to go to the search channel. Same thing. It's going to surf for you. It's going to show you new data, and until you interact with it, it'll keep doing it. And there's tons of different stuff. Like if you want to see just the stuff that's positive, even on a negative day, we have a channel for that. Notice how it's broken up. Gainers today, week, year, and then just a stream, like your Twitter stream of positive market action. And of course, if we have something that's going up, obviously, boom, the knockout punches. You can see everything that's negative. So it's very easy to navigate, okay? Down today, down this month, down this year, and negative events. We have the AI, okay? I'm gonna click on the Omni. And today, the AI did not have great results because it was just a very challenging trading day on both sides, longs and shorts. But again, we've had some insane runs recently, so you can, this is expected to be a little bit of a chop session. But here's a channel, it's the Omni AI channel, it's part of our premium product, and you can trade around these positions. You can sort them by what happened first, you can see what happened, why it happened, kind of get an idea, you know, what's going on. You can create your own price alerts to work around these, okay? There's a channel for your earnings. So people like that, like up with earnings today, down with earnings today, up with earnings tomorrow, down with earnings tomorrow. So everything that's already, that you kind of need to know, this is what we're trying to say, is that it's already incorporated into the system. We made it so you don't have to tinker around, and then there's just channels for various different things.
But if you wanted to tinker around, you could make your own custom layout. You could, you know, take and tweak what we've already done here, fit it to your monitor, and then save your own custom channel with your own icon and really make it yours. So it's, you know, you can hit it running without knowing how to configure it, how to set it up, or as you grow with it, you can really start to do a lot more.
Okay, in fact, we give you building blocks like Channel 4.
Don't seize your
Don't
channel.
ever click on this.
Don't ever click on it, at least not live during the market. But
Brad, yeah. What is Channel 4?
So Channel 4, it's a collection, a compilation. It's just a group of different strategies that we've been using over the years, and just put into this layout here where you can grab a particular window, pin it, bring it into your own layout. It's not really meant to be used in this format here, but it's more of pick and choose what we've done, see if it's something that interests you, and you know, expand that window a bit. It's not really meant to be that size. There's some additional information there.
So then I want to go to another channel. For example, the one I haven't shown yet is the one that I kind of like. Where did it go? Here it is, active trading. But notice, because I've pinned this, so every window that you take out, I have it pinned. So now even when I'm switching channels, it's not going away. So the idea is that our software is very powerful. You can do things within Trade Ideas that's analogous to how some pros work with Photoshop, but it's also as simple as cut and paste. Okay, you can take windows that you like from various channels, keep them, and they don't go away. So you can kind of then surf around. And then you can really channel surf, and one, as Brad said, you have your own layouts you can make. You can do anything. Here's the stocks that we talked about with the low float, okay? Ones that are potentially going to be moving quite a bit because they're easier to move. Man, software sure did like this one. I mean, there you can see the AI really working its pattern recognition, Brad. You know, studying, getting onto the long side, thinking it's overdone, correcting, trying to get the short, getting some action there, then picking up the buy, missed the buy here, got the sell, missed it, missed the buy, nailed the sell. Brad, you know why I like this? Is because it kind of talks a little bit about the truth of advanced speculation. You know, if you think it's all, remember, every one of these days was what's called the hard right edge. When we did this, we didn't know this was coming, right? You just have to try stuff. And the software does this mathematically, and we do believe, Brad, that, like I said, we do believe. Brad, say we do.
No, we do. There's a whole bunch of technology that we created a decade ago in the back testing tool, that we call the odds maker, that we've essentially kind of modeled into the machine learning AI component of it. So we know what it's doing. It's doing legitimate statistical analysis.
There is no, I'm convinced, and this is one of the reasons why we're one of the, this is our third year being in the Inc. 5000 fastest growing privately held companies in the USA, and we are now 1,920, in case you guys wanted to know. So we're doing better and better, and the reason is there is no other technology that even comes close to what we do here on the speculative side of the market for individuals. You know, you've got your institutions and your hedge funds who do all sorts of crap, and they do stuff that's really different than stuff that a person with a $50,000 account or $100,000 account would do. But we cater to the individual who is self-directed, that wants to take more control of their own account because they see that there's so much opportunity, and they don't like the bullshit of being fed that, you know, 3% a year after inflation is a good return. So that's what we do. That's where we come in. We help those people. As we get ready to kind of close things up, once again, I want to say that you've really got all sorts of different things. Options. We track options volume, so we give you unusual options activity in stocks, infrastructure, metals, and of course, after hours. Okay, so this, as we did the, you know, you're getting your coffee and you're sipping, here's what's going on right now in the after hours market. This is what's up the most or down the most in terms of post-market action, and here's your post-market volume leaders. Who's trade? Notice there's a column here, post-market volume. How many people you know that track that, Brad?
Not too many.
Yeah, so we are literally tracking, okay, market closes, this is your post-market volume. Okay, so quite a bit of information here. Okay, so Las Vegas Sands, I don't know what it's doing, but it's trading a lot post-market volume. Quite a bit. So let me jump back to our presentation here. There we go. So like we said, there's a lot of information that we give you, but it's the most comprehensive and the most flowing way that you can now also practice everything in real time, coming to a theater near you. As Brad said, all technology that we do for statistical analysis is based on a tool called the odds maker, which is sort of in a very simplistic way, your card counter in Vegas, but for stock action, where we test things and we say, is this noise or is this a pattern? And we refine that data to try to find the key statistical components that are pattern centric, where statistically, mathematically, it looks like something repeated is happening. And this is what it looks like when it works. We have Brokerage Plus, so the AI that you see, and again, what I showed you here, this can be automated. In fact, this here was an actual automated day that I was trading, doing a lot of the things, Brad, that I'm doing right now on the other side in paper trading. But all this can be automated and done where the computer enters trades, enters your stop, and gets you out as well. So it really lets you kind of trade hands-free, a little bit like the Tesla auto driver, but in the stock market. So that's something that's available with your premium subscription, Brokerage Plus, Holly AI automation. We have an event coming up on October 26th. It's coming up this month. It's in San Diego, and it's atop the Symphony Towers. If you are interested in seeing us in person, interacting with the team, this is a great thing to see. We have links for it where you can click and see more information, who the speakers are, what we're going to be presenting, going to be talking about the future, and you get to meet the people behind the team. This is one of our yearly opportunities where we specifically focus on the personalization of the experience versus the digital stuff that you see normally day in, day out, because we're a digital software company. But here, you can interact with us, interact with the team, see other traders, network, and we have a great bunch of speakers and sponsors at this event, October 26th. Please come take a look at that on our website. We are a subscription as a service business. We make money by you subscribing to our software, and for being here, we have a promo code for you, Harvest Wins, 15% off your first month or a year of trade ideas. If you want to know how much we cost on a per diem, this is what it looks like. Standard is approximately 3.9 per day if you're doing it monthly, and 2.9 if you're doing it daily, and premium is 7.5 per day on the monthly and 6.2 per day on the premium. We're talking about Subway, you know, or Chick-fil-A, Brad, perhaps?
Perhaps, that sounds good.
Not Popeyes, but certainly Chick-fil-A. And In-N-Out Burger, also a very nice lunch. As we said before, our good compadre, Mr. Barry Anderson, hosts our live trading room, which we probably should update the graphic, I'm thinking, Brad, at some point for him. You know,
yeah, boy, that's long overdue. We should do it. Barry, send me a screenshot.
You know he's going to complain about it on Thursday. I don't want to give him complaining ideas. There, I did it. But come join our trading room. It's free, and it's a great way for you to participate without having to put up any risk whatsoever. The link is at top, trade-ideas.com, trading room. Myself and my good friend Jamie Hodge, we do a Trade Ideas podcast on Fridays. Search that on your podcast app, and we will be bringing you some colored, flavorful information, really talk about advanced development, psychology, philosophy, and just standard, really cool stuff relating to the future of the company. So please check us out. We are grateful that you have come today. We have all sorts of information for you, ebooks, lots of different things to help you get acquainted with the software as you're beginning to search for the tools that you need to survive. We know that we're competing for your subscription dollars, and we know that we're the best at it. Let us prove it to you by you signing up immediately, right away. Don't wait at all. Brad, who said that?
You said that. Hey, before you do this one, Anthony's got a pretty good question. I don't know if it popped up on your screen, but he's getting ready. Well, first of all, he's a big fan of TI, and he's getting ready to open up a TDA account. Big fan of the zero commissions that are now kind of really permeating the industry, right? So he's moving over to TDA, and he's really curious from a scanner perspective. He's pretty sure that they probably have some type of scanner, but he's wondering, you know, how does that compare to something like Trade Ideas? And Is that something he would want to have in conjunction with his Thinkorswim platform, or how do you feel about that?
All right, I'm going to answer Anthony's question. Anthony, great question. I really like how you started it out. No, we are grateful for the question because it gives us an opportunity to really answer something that a lot of people think about. There are some products out there that try to compete in our space. But because TD Ameritrade, and specifically, as you know, Thinkorswim was a product that TD Ameritrade acquired from what used to be Thinkorswim brokerage. As soon as a large company like Ameritrade acquires a smaller company, and Thinkorswim was pretty good. I mean, pretty big, as a matter of fact, I think. Development usually stops. They have had some scanning, but you cannot really compare what they do to what we do, other than they also try to give you some ideas, and of course, so do we. But what we do is at a completely different level. It's the difference between InfoSeek and Google. It looks similar to people that can't tell the difference, you know, between when you ask something on the internet, but the way things are ranked and presented, and the power with what we do, you know, the event-based backtesting, you can't do that in Thinkorswim. But even on the standard subscription, the multi-strategy windows, the fact that we're going to give you this paper trading as part of that, I think is going to make huge improvement to your overall trading environment. So, I mean, the best thing I can say is that I feel like you're still going to need trade ideas as much as you ever did, but you should investigate their tools and really then make the proper determination for yourself. I'm confident in what will happen, but ultimately it has to be a personal choice, and we urge the competition. You know, we've been in business since 2003. We are a 16-year overnight success. It's getting ready to get bought out any second now, right?
17 next month.
17 next month. Any second the buyout's coming. Just know it. But again.
But we've done nothing but during that time we've done nothing but focus on idea generation. That's all that we do, right?
Whereas
so
everybody else, like the E-Trades and the TD Ameritrades and everyone else, they've got to run the brokerage business. Their biggest money is spent on advertising to get your dollar.
So one thing, though, that we do have specific to this question is we do have a little piece of tech called the external linking connector, and it allows you to link up with Thinkorswim, all the other platforms out there as well. So essentially, when you click on something in Trade Ideas, it'll update the charts over in Thinkorswim, it'll update the news or whatever level 2 or whatever other components you have with that platform. So they're really meant to work together. Your idea generation, they may have, I'm sure they have high-low tickers, and they do have some overlap of tech, but look, I mean, this is just what we've been building, and we haven't stopped over that time period. So, and we're not stopping now, so it's only going to get better.
Yeah. Yeah. You will be able to use the symbol linking, so it should be seamless, and we have tons of people who are TD Ameritrade customers who use Trade Ideas. So, I'm TrendSpider, Brad, I don't know, I'm sure the generic connector should be able to link to them, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. So, Anthony, again, yes, Schwab is one of our external linking destinations. So, Adam, with our Brokerage Plus, you can currently trade with interactive brokerage, but we are working on adding other broker dealers, and hopefully the Schwabs and the TD Ameritrades and the E-Trades will want to pony up a little that cash that they're not now making on the commissions and integrate the finest little trading app south, east, and west of the Pecos.
It's been a tough couple of days for those guys, huh?
It's been tough. You know someone's getting fired. All right. So guys, as we wrap this up, I want to thank everybody for coming in here and spending time with us. We're active on social media. While my account is still banned, we do have @Trade Ideas, @QuantBot, @TodayTrader, And Brad Williams has one, but I don't talk to it. I don't even talk with him on Twitter. It's really boring. Please like us on Facebook. We're really good there. Shoot us an email, info@tradeIdeas.com. And if you need to, give us a call. So again, grateful for your time. Have a great rest of your afternoon. And Brad, enjoy the show.
I certainly will. Get some popcorn.
Thank you, Scott.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. You'll see the recording tomorrow when you get the email. Thanks, guys.